let's start with Pearl. She just touched down from the UK. She's here, live in effect. Go ahead, grab her real quick just to make sure she's a real person.
Right,
She exists.
here, right?
She's out here. So Pearl, let me use my words very intentionally. You are blowing up these days, rightfully so. You've been working hard. I know how hard you work. You just did a big interview with Andrew Tate, Brittany Renner. You did a big thing with Hafiz. I know we're going to do something with Hafiz later this week. So tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, tune in.
Tomorrow, tune in. So just a heads up.
Round
She's doing
two.
Round two. Happy to coordinate that. So for those of you that don't know exactly who you are, what you stand for, why don't you take a minute and just say like who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in.
Okay, so my name's Pearl. I would say that I talk about intersexual dynamics on my podcast. And it talks about, we talk about so many different topics, but I would say anti-feminism, like modern relationships, I would say, is basically.
Anti-feminism, anti-modern relationships.
Yeah.
And now is modern relationships symbiotic with feminism? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Why do you think that is?
Why? Well, I just think we've changed to a culture where it's about me instead of the family first.
Yeah. You know how that started? With a selfie. It all started with a selfie.
Well, I think there's
selfie, it's about yourself. Now you're selfish. You're taking a selfie. You put your stupid self face in the picture. It's all about yourself. What happened to us? What happened to we? That's my opinion. I don't know.
You know what's interesting? They pinpoint like one of the pivotal like moments when the divorce rate increased as when women started getting on birth control. And it's funny, my grandma, she's 80, right? And I saw her last week, and I asked her, she doesn't know anything about red pill, doesn't know anything about the stats. And I asked her like, why do you think like people started to get divorced? And she told me birth control. Just interesting. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying that's
your
like
good friend Rollo, author of The Rational Male, says that birth control is hypergamy. What does that mean? Meaning, if a woman gets pregnant, she will obviously assess the situation and be like, all right, who's this dude that just knocked me up? Okay, he's a NBA basketball player, a.k.a. Brittany Renner. He's a high-value man. He's Drake, you know, the Drake condom hot sauce story. All right, this guy, I will have his baby, and I'll go out of my way to have his baby. Versus, I was fucked up. It was some dude at the bar. He's homeless, jobless, whatever. Abortion. That's kind of what your grandma's saying?
I don't know if her grandma knows Drake.
I mean, but she knows about abortion. Your grandma don't know.
I don't think my grandma knows what hypergamy is. But
No,
she was just
but the
saying like women.
concept of
Yeah. She was just saying like women get the opportunity to sleep around with no consequences, so they do it.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, correct.
Is that they have now the choice to say, okay, I'm pregnant. I've never been pregnant. You've been pregnant twice. I'm not going to put your shit out there.
No.
There's people out there. But women have a choice to say, okay, let me back up. It's been 30, 60, 90 days. I'm pregnant now. Okay, who's the father of the child? And then hypergamy is the definition of hypergamy is the act of dating up or marrying up. So you have this conscious decision to say, I'm not even in a relationship with this person. Do I want to have Drake's baby? Yes. Do I want to have Bill's baby? Hell no. Abortion. It's essentially what grandma's saying.
Yeah.
And this is why you feel so strongly about anti-feminism? Like, equate the two, I guess, is what I'm asking you.
What do you mean?
You're saying that you feel so strong about anti-feminism,
Well, I just
and
think
that was caused modern relationships by abortion. So I'm literally trying to marry the two thoughts.
Oh, well, I mean, I just think that feminism is and always has been a hate group. So it's always been like freedom without the responsibility at the expense of men often. Where it comes to like, I mean, it just goes back to like no consequences. So when there's birth control, and I'm not saying people will say I want to get rid of birth control. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when you have birth control, it gets rid of the consequence of sleeping around.
Gotcha.
And
Is
same
that
with
a bad
abortions.
thing?
Is what a bad thing?
That's a bad thing.
I mean, I don't think it's good. I don't think promiscuity is good for a society by and large.
Okay.
You don't believe so?
I mean, what does that mean? Like, people shouldn't be having sex unless they're dating?
What do you mean?
Well, he's asking if people not be having sex unless they're dating or single and sleeping
We're talking
around,
about
like,
hookup cultures. I
yeah.
think where you're going here. Like now,
That's what he's asking.
hookup culture, body count. I mean, this is something that is pervasive. You know, body
Yeah,
counts.
I mean, I saw a video last week about a girl that slept with 4 guys in 1 week. You know, I mean, I just think that's madness.
Yeah.
And you
I
think
just
that-
think, I just think
I'm with you
society
on
has
that.
gone to, like, that's
But
crazy.
But are you saying that's because she's on the pill, or are you saying
I'm just
she
saying
could
that-
do that without the pill?
I'm saying the
right?
pill adds to it. I'm saying
Got it.
abortion adds to it too. I mean, I know, I met someone the other day, 7 abortions. 7.
Oh my god.
At that point, you can't even tell. 30% of people that have had abortions have had, it's either 1 or more or 2 or more. And they don't produce, or 40% of women that have had abortions have had 1 or more. And so, and they don't track the 60% in the future that if they will have them. So it's like, how can you say it's not a form of birth control if women are constantly getting them again and again and again?
Wow. So give me those stats one more time, please.
40% of women that have had abortions have had 1 or more. And that's both in England and in the UK.
One
And you
or
can-
more.
Well, if they had one, they've had one.
No, like
Yeah.
so it's their second
They've had
abortion.
more
They've had
than
one
one.
Got it.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
40%. So they are perennial, habitual abortion proponents. Or I mean, I don't know if there's.
I mean, it just seems like it's used as a form of hypergamy / birth control.
Yeah.
Because 98% of abortions are elective.
Yeah, and I think 90-something% happen in the first 2 trimesters. Anyway, I'm not the abortion expert here, but this is essentially what you stand for, and like grandma kind of like put it all together with the feminism, and that's what started feminism. Essentially, that's what you're saying.
No, I don't think birth control started. I mean, that's a whole different tangent. I can go into it.
Yeah,
but,
go into it.
But I mean, feminism started in 1888 in Seneca Falls, New York. So that was when feminism
First
started.
wave feminism.
I mean,
right to vote, suffrage, right to work in the 50s, all that. You're talking about modern day feminism, a modern woman, right?
no, I mean, I would say it's always been one movement. It's always been freedom without responsibility.
Oh, so you even the original feminism movement in
1888.
1888,
In Seneca Falls, New York.
you're not a proponent of that movement.
I mean, it depends.
What did that?
Because it like what I would say is it's always been freedom without responsibility. So even like when they talked about the right to vote, and see, we're going on so many different tangents, but even when we talk about the right to vote, like men had to get drafted. So like that was why women couldn't vote. And I'm not saying we go back. Like I think we've already gone this far. We're not going to go back at this point.
Yeah.
But I just think feminism is and always has been a hate group.
A hate group. Wow. So I assume your biggest haters are women today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Unpack that a little bit. Like, what are women telling you? Like, you must see the comments. What is
I
the
would
most
say
common
the
comment?
maddest group that I get is the fat chicks. Yeah. So there was an incident where I had a whale attack. Now, so I was doing street interviews and I was talking about like women sometimes, and I want to say like women and men can be entitled, but I've just found that it's more women. So like this woman on the street was talking about she felt like, oh, I can't walk home alone at night. And my whole point was men can't walk. No, why are you walking home alone at night? It's in a dangerous area. And this triggered her. She just got real mad because I was just saying like no one can walk. Like what are you going to do? Walk down a bad area? If you're a guy, you're going to get attacked too. Anyway, so she got mad. She knocks the mic out of my hand. She's like, I'll have you. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'll have you, you slag. I'll have you, you slag. And I live in London, so I didn't know what a slag meant, but I knew I was being insulted.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, and so then I was like, well, you're a whale anyway, da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, and so that got me, so then all these girls got mad because, and then another podcast, I was like, 300 pounds is a lot. And I was just like, I feel like if you're 300 pounds, you probably shouldn't expect someone that makes 6 figures. You know, I mean, that's just a high expectation if you're that fat.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then the whales just came for me. They started making videos about me. And this was like nonstop. They harassed my family. They messaged my sisters. Like that has been the most triggered group, I would say. And you know what? I said 300 pounds is a lot. I stand on that. That's a lot of weight.
Well, I'm not gonna push back on that at all. But I assume when you're using the word whale, you know what you're getting yourself into.
She started it. She called me a slag first.
What's a slag?
I
for
know,
the-
what is it?
Oh,
I've
it's like a
never-
whore.
Oh.
Yeah.
You slag.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Huh.
And she also called me ugly too. So I was just like, it's like I don't start fights, but I will finish it.
Ooh.
And so if anything, I should apologize to the whales in the sea. Yeah, because those are beautiful, majestic creatures, and I compared them to fat chicks.
Wow.
So that's a compliment, is what you're saying. All right. Well, no issues here. Okay. For a second. So from a woman's perspective, let's let the women answer this right now. From a woman's perspective, what are the best traits and qualities that a man should be looking for in a wife and a mother?
A wife and a mother. Good with kids. first and foremost, if you want to have kids. And I would just say, like, she has to get on your program. And I agree with what he said, agreeable.
But not disagreeable.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want a girl that you're arguing with all the time. That's a headache. Guys don't want to come home to... It's like they fight battles at work every day. You want to come home and fight with your girl? No.
Gotcha. How many of your close girlfriends are married or have kids now?
2.
2. So that 2 out of...
4.
Okay, so you don't have a lot of girlfriends.
No.
Okay.
Or-
Maybe be nice to whales, baby. All right, like Greenpeace. Okay, big girls need love too. So you're saying that don't be disagreeable and prove that you're actually good with kids prior to me knocking you up. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that? What a man should be looking for in a wife and a mother?
Okay. Oh,
Versus kids?
I liked my brother's girlfriend because this girl went to culinary school to cook for my brother.
Yeah.
Isn't that mad? She's not even a chef.
She went to culinary school
she's an engineer.
to cook.
She's an engineer. She was like, you know what? I want to cook for my man. She goes to culinary school.
Okay.
I'm not.
Are they still together?
Yeah, he just proposed. How do you think she got the ring?
As I say, the stomach is the key to a good relationship.
Shout out
All
Austin.
right, gotcha. And then you have, just to be clear, you have 5 brothers? You're one of 9? What are you?
I'm 1 of 10.
1 of 10.
Oh, wow.
Sorry for the one that I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
1 of 10, and
Big
there how many
family.
boys, how many girls?
It's 5-5.
Okay, and to be clear, if you could paint the perfect woman for all 5 of your brothers, not each one of them, I don't need, Bill's ideal wife and then Adam's ideal wife and then Larry's ideal wife, but
Okay.
like, if there's a I don't want to use the term unicorn, because, we all know those don't exist. What type of woman, if you can paint an ideal
Okay,
woman
ideal,
for
perfect,
your
all
5
right.
brothers?
Okay, so 1, she can't be a hoe. She can't be sleeping around all around the town. No,
No
not for my
304s.
brothers. No 304s for my brothers.
Gotcha.
2, okay. She's got she has to work hard.
Yeah.
So because like raising kids is hard, so I feel like you should have someone that like is a hard worker that you're
Okay.
with. I would also say being agreeable and like listening to him. I really like that my brother's girlfriends like they don't really argue with what they say, they just kind of follow.
Okay.
When you say work hard, like a job work hard?
No, it doesn't have to be a job. I just think like work ethic is good.
Like, don't be lazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, like,
not
no
disagreeable, be a
bums.
good worker, be able to cook a little bit.
Oh, not
Good
attention.
with kids.
Not super attention
Not
seeking.
By the way, real quick, I'd like to introduce your brothers to Natalia over there.
Oh my
Because
God.
as you're saying all
Oh
this, I'm
my
like,
gosh.
look at my girl Nat. Just agreeable, never disagreeing, always a good worker. I know, that's
If
just a plug
if
for
they
my
were
girl Nat
single,
real
if
quick.
my brothers were single, I would totally set him up with her.
All right, listen, there's a lot of dudes out there that are paying for Nat's bathwater these days in super chats. Okay, so Madison, you have any brothers?
Yes, I do. I have a
Wait, can I
brother.
add one? Can I
Yeah.
add one? In shape. Sorry.
In
Done.
shape.
Done.
Well, we know you're not Greenpeace over here, right? You're not trying to save the whale. We know that. Thanks. Okay, so you have how many brothers?
I have 1 brother.
How old is he?
He is 37.
Is he married? Kids?
Married and has 2
Okay,
kids.
so for your brother and let's say Adam over here looking for a wife, right? There's a
Yeah.
ton of dudes in the audience out there. How you guys doing? Good to see you. What would the perfect wife and mother look like for your brother and Adam over here and the men out there in
I
your
would
perspective?
say someone who's confident, secure with themselves, because insecurities brings a lot of attention seeking and just needing the reassurance constantly. I would also say someone who's very warm, loving, kind, caring, that's very also almost selfless, and that they can, someone who's a good teammate, like a good
Yeah.
partner.
I'm noticing
that makes
one
you
thing
be a
here.
better person.
Nobody's saying it like brings home the bacon, making money. Like it's not. That's
A partner, a team partner.
Well, that's part of it, but I don't think.
Someone who can help you be the best person that you can be, and you both lift each
Okay.
other up.
Well,
All right.
I mean, what does money to a guy who has it? And my brothers are not bums. You know what I mean?
There it is. That's great if your girl can make money and do that and be a complimentary type person. But I don't think men are looking for that. There's a sexual market value stat out there where like what women work for, it's like a pie chart. And I remember this. It's like a woman's looking for a guy with resources, who can provide, protect, be good looking. It's like an equitable kind of share. Like it's a pie chart that gets broken up. Whereas men, 80% of it is looks. And then the other 20% is like what you do, your age, what you're providing, like all that. So it's a different dynamic right there.
A lot of younger men though aren't going to be happy and are secure enough to date a girl that makes a lot of money.
Well, a lot of younger men aren't probably dating a young girl who's making a lot of money.
Well, I think
mean,
I just think it's nothing to men, and like you know, I do well with the channel, and like that's why when you asked in the beginning how has your dating life changed, I'm like, it's the same. Guys don't care.
You're like, guys don't care that.
No, they're like,
I don't know.
They're like,
you're a public figure at this point.
Some men
that
would
gets
care.
you an extra point for
Some
sure.
men would care.
All right,
But
you've been married.
some men would have a hard time dating.
Yeah, you've been.
if anything, I think like most guys would prefer a girl with like not on social media than on it. Yeah,
Oh.
I would say it almost like loses you.
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let me tell you a story. So I meet this girl, very pretty girl, and she's in the nightlife business in Miami. And you know, obviously you do the same pleasantries. Hey, how you doing? This, that, the other. And then naturally it's like, so what's your Instagram? Obviously you do that. And I get her Instagram. And I send her a text. I said, by the way, I'm really impressed with your Instagram. She goes, why? I have like a couple hundred followers. And I go, exactly. I go, do you know how rare it is for a pretty girl that lives in Miami, that works in nightlife, to not have like thottery going on all over their Instagram page? Like, that is such an impressive quality. So the fact that she had, whatever, a couple hundred, couple thousand followers, I don't know. And it was just like, nice photos, just her being pretty, family, versus like booty shot, booty, boom, titties out. Like, it was like so refreshing. And I said, wow, I'm so impressed by you. But most girls don't got that in that type of category. Because men, you know, if you're looking for that type of girl, you steer clear from the girls with 1 million followers, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. That's rant over. You've been married. You're married for 10 years. You now have a unicorn by your side. You told me you used to date around a little bit in your younger days. Based on your track record, what is the best traits and characteristics for a wife and mother?
Well, I think what she said first, which is like good with kids, right? If you're planning to have kids with them, are they a good mom?
Number one.
Yeah, for me. And she was a teacher before, so I was like, that's amazing. Because like, if you've been a teacher, you've gone through all that schooling, you've dealt with kids, you've dealt with a lot of different people's kids.
Yeah.
You obviously know how to be around kids. That's huge.
Okay.
So
Anything
I would say
else you want to add to that?
good with kids. I mean, are you talking about her specifically? I would look at her family and friends. I think family's huge.
Yeah. I'm trying to give game to the guys out there who are contemplating maybe wifing up this girl, maybe dating this girl, maybe knocking up this girl. And they're like, oh, actually, my hot girl actually hates kids.
I mean,
and you're contemplating
I think
marrying her. It's like,
if you're already dating a girl,
that could be a great thing.
Why's that?
I mean, when you say, you know, give me your list of things or qualities that can make a good mother and a good wife, you know, implicit in that is that, you know, those two different categories are not sometimes competing with each other. You can have a woman who has really great qualities that make her a mother, but some of those great qualities...
100% correct.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Because you can be an amazing mom and be a terrible wife.
That's exactly right.
Because you also can put all your attention to the kids and then neglect your husband.
That's exactly right. And so many women do that, and men are shocked. And it's happened so much, especially after the second kid. A lot of times women will just cut off the sex. You know, it's, hey, I was a wife, but now I'm a mom, right? And so men don't take this into account.
Yeah.
Men get married thinking that the woman that they're marrying who's devoted to them is going to stay that way. And what so many men find out is that is not the case, especially when the kids start coming.
Very important point you just made right there. Okay, so
I've been doing this for 20 years.
like,
I'm
I
telling
do
you, I
this.
see this.
One in four marriages is sexless. I'd just like to add.
One in four marriages is sexless. Do we know however many years that takes to get to that point?
I think it's like 2 or 3 months, if I remember.
2 or 3 months. What?
Like no sex. Like
no, meaning like
how long have they been
after
married?
2 years of marriage, 5 years of marriage, 7-year itch, 10 years.
I don't know how they. I just know it was 1 in 4.
What I see is that it almost always comes after the kids, and just for some reason, it's that fucking second kid It's that second kid that will start it up.
One
Not
kid
the
for me,
first
bro.
kid, but it's
That's it.
the
One
second
and done.
What if they have like 4 or 5 kids?
What if they have 10?
No, yeah. So like,
Bro.
They're great.
No,
Like,
I mean, if like, is it after the girl like has the last kid that she wants? Or will it still
listen,
kind of?
it just depends. You know, Nick Rekieta, awesome YouTuber, he was talking about, I think he has 5 kids, and he was talking about, you know, him and his wife, you know, they'll like pull over and go into a gas station bathroom to have sex. I mean, they're just hot and heavy.
That
Oh
is
my gosh.
unheard of.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, right? So
Okay.
there are people that are on the
That
extremes.
sounds like some something about Mary shit, just pulling over to the fucking side of the
I
restroom.
mean,
of the gas
that would
station.
be. I mean,
Rest stops.
just as a divorce attorney, I look
Okay.
at. I want to stand up and clap.
But let me ask you this question, because I want to be clear on this. You're basically saying that women need to prioritize their man, and that even almost more than your children, because I think you said a quote like that: kids should not be the priority over their marriage, because after the kids leave the house, then you're going to have a neglected husband, and then there's an endless marriage.
I totally
So
agree with that.
You agree with that?
I agree with that because I believe that you're the foundation of the family, the man and the woman, or man and man, woman, whatever. But I feel like you're the foundation of the family, and if you guys crumble, everything crumbles.
100%.
So
Okay, so what should men do from your perspective? What can men do
Well, that's what I was saying.
to
I
make
think
sure
it-
that
I
that
think-
doesn't happen?
When you're saying like speak to the guys, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like if you really want me to speak to the guys pre-engagement, pre-marriage, you got to have so many conversations with this woman that's going to be your partner on a host of issues that determine whether or not it's going to, you know, last or work. But those conversations can be about kids, but it's also, you know, do you want to have kids? Yes. What kind of parenting do you guys want to do? How often are you going to be around? How are you not going to be around? Who's going to work? Who's going to make money? Who's going to do this? And then you got to have those conversations about sex. You do have to have those conversations. You got to have conversations about financials. You're the financial guy. I'm sure a lot of people are getting married when their finances aren't in order.
Of course.
And so that's going to cause a lot of issues. And so you've got.
I mean, listen. It's impossible to say that partners communicating with themselves between each other is a bad thing, right?
Of course.
But especially like when he said, you know, well, let's talk about sex. You know, how do you feel about sex? Maybe frequency and stuff like this. You have to understand that the woman that you are talking to when you're 26 with no kids, you can talk all you want to this woman. She is a different woman when she's 34, 2 kids, 3 kids in, right? You talking to her, is it gonna hurt anything? Absolutely not. But you better believe you cannot hold that woman to anything she says. Because we all know that it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind, right? So yes, tell these men, talk to your woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not believe for a second that you talking to her is going to get you the real answers that you're looking for, and you will be able to rely on those answers in the future. You will not.
But wouldn't you say also that, I mean, in general, once you become a parent, both parents change. Like you change.
Yeah, you
once
change
have
your whole
kids.
life.
You
You know,
absolutely
like-
change, which, you know, you're exactly right. Which again is another reason why talking to your partner pre-kids, it's not a useless endeavor, but how much value is it really going to give you? When, like you say,
It's
you're
going to
both
give you a
gonna
lot of
change.
value because you have to talk about, okay, I live this lifestyle now, you live this lifestyle now. What are we going to do once we have kids? Your life changes completely. To say not to have that conversation
No,
and then it means nothing is
I
insanity.
did not say not to have it. I did not say not to have it. I said you can have it if you want to, but you cannot rely on the information that you get from that conversation because so many
Well-
times the information is going to change.
So you're just saying that your partner, you just have no trust, no faith.
It's
You don't
not-
trust that anything
No, it's
they're
to
going
know.
say.
It's to know
man.
how women are.
Do
Like
you
we
not?
feel.
You're dating a
we
woman.
feel-
You see how
Yeah.
women change their
we
minds. This
feel-
is
But that doesn't
crazy.
mean to not have the conversation.
No one said not have the conversation. I'm saying to have it if you want to.
So you're just saying to the guys, look, have the conversations, but things will change.
100%.
And know that things will change.
100%. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, but everyone knows that. That's not like an answer.
No, you're just saying, you're like, oh, well, you're saying that? Yes, I'm saying that. What are you saying? Have the conversation.
Yeah.
Why are
She'll
you
be right back. Despite our warnings to pee before the show, Madison, this is another indicator of what you can communicate with the woman. You can communicate all you want with the woman. Say, hey, I highly recommend you pee before the show.
I'm so
Next thing you
glad
know,
you brought
there's
this
pee time
couple
in the middle
here.
of the goddamn
I'm
show.
so glad. That is exactly right. And what would he say? Oh, well, have the conversation. Have the conversation. You had the conversation, and look where we are. That is exactly right.
Right, but you're not really but you're basically that's not advice for the guys out there.
No, your advice is not advice. Your advice about having the conversation
You just
is
said
not
the
advice.
conversation would help. You said, yeah, have the conversation.
I said it would help. I said it's no
You did say it
value.
would help.
You're not listening. You're just up here. I said it's of almost
with
no
men these days.
value.
They wanna
don't
talk and not listen.
So there's
I'm
no-
so glad you. This is the perfect couple.
So there's
this
no-
is the perfect couple. You have a man that
So there's
doesn't
no-
listen
there's
and a
no-
woman that changes her mind. This is the perfect couple.
So there's no
Pan and unicorn.
value.
a man and a
soon.
unicorn. That is
Coming soon.
exactly right. And
But-
he's Pan, right from Peter Pan, because he has a childish inside.
Well, there's
This
nothing
is
wrong
what-
with being childlike, but there's something wrong
No,
with
no,
being
no, no, no.
childish.
If you're going to be childlike, you're in trouble when you get into divorce court. You need to be a man when you start entering into the institution of marriage. There can be nothing childlike when you step into that institution, because you will not be treated like a child when you go to divorce court. Right? This whole Peter Pan, I'm childlike on the inside bullshit. She's a unicorn. She's got a fucking horn sticking out of her head. It's bullshit. She's a human.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I think he knows she's a human, brother.
Well, you have a unicorn and Peter Pan up here.
Yeah, well, it's a good name for a podcast, I guess. Ross, you want to defend that?
I mean, it's kind of joking. We're just having some fun. Like, I don't think it's
Hey,
that
hey,
serious.
there's no fucking fun at divorce court.
But,
Goddamn right.
You come to the wrong goddamn show. You think you're about to have some fun. All
the
right, anyway, let's just back it up for a second. Natalia,
Yes.
the lovely Natalia, who we're trying to hook up with one of Pearl's 58 brothers over here.
No.
Come on in.